Your presence here is not something random or without meaning. Something inside you has been quietly guiding you, pulling your attention toward answers you may not fully understand yet. This message did not come by coincidence or chance. It reached you at a moment that already held questions inside you. Something within you has been gently leading you, drawing you toward clarity you have not fully reached yet. This message did not arrive by accident or random timing. It came to you at a moment already filled with questions inside you. Deep down, there has been a feeling of searching, a sense that something more is meant for you to understand. This message did not arrive by chance or coincidence. It reached you exactly when questions were already forming inside you. Deep within, there has been a quiet searching, a feeling that something greater is waiting for you to understand. It may have been there for days, weeks, or even longer than you can clearly measure. During that time, you may have found yourself waiting, sometimes aware of it, sometimes without even noticing, hoping for a sign, a moment of clarity, or some reassurance that could finally calm the inner pressure you have been carrying. This weight has not been easy for you to carry, and most of the time you have held it silently, without sharing it with others. Not because you had nothing to say, but because you already expected how others might respond. You may have feared being misunderstood, ignored, or told that what you feel is only overthinking or imagination. So instead of explaining it, you kept it within yourself, trying to handle it alone. But even in that silence, something inside you never stopped speaking. A quiet inner voice has stayed with you through everything. It appears in the stillness of early mornings when the world is not yet awake. It also lingers in the quiet of the night, when everything slows down and your thoughts become louder. In those moments when everything outside becomes silent, this inner feeling becomes stronger, almost impossible to ignore. You may have tried to distract yourself, to focus on other things, to keep your mind busy, hoping it would slowly fade away, but it keeps coming back. Not in a forceful way, but steadily, as if it refuses to disappear no matter how much you try to push it aside. It does not demand attention loudly. It simply stays there, consistent and patient, as if waiting for you to finally notice it. And maybe the most important part is this. You did not create this feeling. It is not something formed from fear, loneliness, or imagination. It feels deeper than that, as if it is rising from a place within you that already understands something your conscious mind is still trying to figure out. Something real is trying to come forward, not to confuse you, but to be seen and understood. Pause for a moment and think about this. What if this feeling that does not leave you is not a burden, but a signal from your own inner self guiding you toward truth? What if the reason it stays is not because of attachment or imagination, but because it comes from a deeper place inside you that already knows what your mind is only starting to realize? Right now, a deeper awareness is offering you a quiet but honest confirmation of something you have felt for a long time but were afraid to fully accept. Out of fear, caution, and past pain, you tried to silence your inner voice. You told yourself the feeling was too strong, too sudden, too intense to be real. Yet no matter how much you tried to push it away, it kept returning. There is a reason for that. You are being guided to understand why your heart reacts so deeply to this person, why this connection feels different from anything else, why it remains even in distance, why the silence between you does not feel empty but meaningful. Your intuition, that inner guide that rarely leads you wrong, continues to stay active even when your logical mind resists it. There is a reason you cannot simply let this go. There is a reason your emotions move before your thoughts can fully catch up. What you are feeling is not random. It is recognition at a deep level, something beyond simple understanding or physical presence. It touches a part of you that feels familiar, even if you cannot fully explain why. You may have tried to distract yourself, move on, or explain everything logically, but each attempt only made the feeling stronger, because what comes from the deeper self cannot be silenced by the mind. There is something inside you that keeps bringing you back to the same awareness, the sense that this person entered your life for a reason. You are not losing control, and you are not confused. What you feel comes from a real and deep place. When you stop listening only to outside opinions and start listening within, you begin to understand this is not just imagination. It is part of your truth. Still, your mind keeps asking questions. Is this real love or attachment? Is this true connection or emotional dependence? Your mind, shaped by past pain, tries to protect you through doubt and caution. But there are signs coming from a deeper place than fear. One sign is inner peace. When a connection is real at a deeper level, you feel calm even when there is distance. You do not feel abandoned or overwhelmed. Instead, there is a steady knowing inside you, a calm that does not easily break. This peace does not come from the other person. It comes from within you, reminding you that what is real does not disappear in silence. Another sign is inner growth. This connection has awakened something in you. Parts of you that were quiet or hidden have started to open. You feel pushed to grow and understand yourself more deeply, not for someone else, but for your own path. This connection acts like a mirror, showing your strength and truth. The third sign is persistence. The feeling does not fade easily. You may try to ignore it, replace it, or suppress it, but it still remains steady and strong. It does not behave like temporary emotion. It stays consistent over time. That kind of persistence is not ordinary. If all of this feels real, then why is there distance? Why silence? Why does something so meaningful also feel separated? These questions may feel heavy in your heart, but you need to understand something important. Not everything that pauses is ending. Some things pause so they can become stronger. What is in your heart does not simply disappear, not because you force it to stay, but because it has purpose. Some connections are meant to evolve, not break. Sometimes distance exists so both people can grow, heal, and become ready for what the connection truly needs. This person holds meaning in your life not only because of feelings, but because of deeper growth it brings into your path. This connection is not here to harm you. It is here to shape you, strengthen you, and guide you toward deeper self-understanding. What you are going through is not an ending, it is a pause, a period of preparation. The distance is not failure, it is development happening beneath the surface. Both of you needed time to grow, release old patterns, and become stronger within yourselves. This time is not about waiting for someone else. It is about becoming complete within yourself. Because without inner balance, no connection can remain stable. True connection needs awareness and strength. As you move through this phase, your focus slowly turns inward. You begin to understand yourself more clearly. You see where you gave too much, where you depended on outcomes, and where you lost yourself in expectation. This awareness is not here to hurt you, it is here to free you. It helps you stand stronger without needing constant reassurance from anyone else. Silence is not always rejection. Sometimes it is reflection, a space where growth happens quietly. Just because nothing is visible does not mean nothing is happening. You are also learning patience, not forced patience, but trust-based patience. Trust in yourself, trust in your path, and trust that what belongs to you will not miss you. This trust builds slowly through doubt, reflection, and understanding. You are learning to release control, the need for answers, and the need to know everything in advance. In letting go, you find peace. Control comes from fear, but peace comes from trust. This does not mean you stop feeling. It means you are no longer controlled by feelings. You can care deeply without losing yourself. That is real strength. Something powerful is happening within you. You are becoming more aware and more grounded in truth. And slowly you realize that what is meant for you will stay without force, without confusion, and without chasing. Instead of asking why this is happening, start asking what it is teaching you. What is it showing you about yourself? What is it helping you understand? The answers will not come all at once, but they will come slowly and clearly over time. And you will realize this experience was never meant to break you. It was meant to shape you into someone stronger and more aware of your own value. Trust the process even when it feels uncertain. Trust the inner voice guiding you step by step. That voice has always been with you and will continue to guide you forward. The distance is not meaningless. It is shaping you from within. It reveals your fears, doubts, emotional habits, and reactions when you feel unsure. It is not here to punish you. It is here to show what still needs attention within you. Silence often reveals what noise hides. At first, distance feels painful because the mind fills silence with assumptions. You may replay situations, searching for answers again and again. But slowly, if you allow growth, you begin to understand not everything is about loss. Things are about learning. This experience pushes you inward toward your own inner strength and awareness. It gently forces you to face emotions you may have been avoiding for a long time. It brings clear awareness to your attachment patterns, your expectations, and your need for control over outcomes and situations. As you move slowly through this inner process, something inside you begins to shift and transform. You start becoming more aware of your own emotional balance and how it changes from moment to moment. You begin to respond in a different way to the same thoughts that once used to make you anxious, stressed, or overwhelmed. You slowly begin to understand that real peace does not come from the other person changing or from situations going your way, but from you becoming steady, calm, and grounded within yourself. And as this inner change continues to happen, the way you feel the connection also starts to change. It does not feel as chaotic, heavy, or confusing as it once did before. There is more clarity forming inside you. Even if the situation outside has not changed yet, something inside you is already shifting. What you may not always realize is that transformation is not happening only on your side alone. Even though you cannot see what is happening in their life, thoughts, or mind, change is not limited to just one person. They are also going through their own inner process in their own way and time. Their thoughts, emotions, and internal struggles are also shifting quietly in ways you cannot directly observe or understand from the outside. Just because there is silence does not mean there is nothing happening. In fact, silence often hides deep thinking, confusion, reflection, emotional processing, and inner questioning. Sometimes people withdraw, not because they do not feel anything, but because they are overwhelmed by what they feel inside. Instead of expressing everything outwardly, they step back to process and understand it on their own. Many people do not pull away because they do not care. In fact, sometimes it is the opposite. They pull away because the feelings are too strong, too deep, too confusing, or too unfamiliar for them to handle in a stable way. When emotions become intense and a person does not know how to deal with them properly, distance becomes their way of coping and protecting their inner state. Past experiences can also shape this behavior strongly. If someone has been hurt before, they may not easily trust what they feel in the present moment. Fear can make them hesitate, and uncertainty can make them quiet and distant. But none of this automatically means that what existed between you was not real or meaningful. There is often a stage in emotional growth where confusion slowly starts turning into understanding over time. At first, everything feels uncertain and unclear. You question intentions, timing, meaning, and even your own emotions. But gradually, with experience, reflection, and time, clarity begins to form. It does not always come quickly, and it does not always come when you want it to, but it comes when the mind and heart are ready to see things without fear or emotional distortion. In that moment, things that once felt complicated start becoming easier to understand and accept. What was once hidden behind strong emotion becomes visible through awareness and reflection. When clarity finally arrives, it naturally changes how a person behaves and reacts. Decisions become calmer and more balanced. Responses become more thoughtful and less emotional. Actions are no longer driven by impulse, fear, or temporary loneliness. Instead, they come from a deeper place of understanding and stability. A person begins to see what truly matters in life and what does not deserve their energy anymore. But this stage of clarity cannot be forced, rushed, or demanded. It happens naturally when inner growth reaches a certain level of readiness. Right now, your focus is not meant to be on forcing outcomes or trying to speed up what is unfolding in life. Your focus is meant to be on yourself, on your emotional stability, on your inner peace, and on building a version of yourself that is not dependent on confusion, uncertainty, or external validation. This is a time for strengthening your inner world and building emotional resilience. A time for learning how to sit with your thoughts without letting them control your reactions or decisions. A time for becoming emotionally grounded, even when external situations feel unclear, slow, or unpredictable. You are not meant to chase answers that are not ready to appear yet. You are not meant to force understanding from someone who is still trying to figure out their own emotions and direction. Instead, this is a period where you develop patience with life, with timing, and with yourself. You learn how to let things unfold naturally without trying to control every single detail or outcome. Control often comes from fear, from the need to feel safe by knowing everything in advance and avoiding uncertainty. But real peace comes when you accept that not everything can be controlled, predicted, or understood immediately. Letting go does not mean you stop caring or become emotionally distant. It means you stop resisting what is already happening and stop fighting the flow of life. It means you stop carrying emotional weight that is not helping you grow or move forward anymore. When you let go of resentment, you are not saying that everything was okay or acceptable. You are simply choosing not to let the past keep affecting your present moment. When you release old pain, you create space inside yourself for clarity, calmness, and emotional lightness. Forgiveness is not always easy or instant. It is not something that happens in one moment without effort or struggle. It is a gradual process that takes time. Sometimes you forgive not because someone has explained everything clearly or fixed what happened, but because you realize that holding on to pain only keeps you stuck in the same emotional cycle. Forgiveness is more about your own freedom than about their actions or behavior. It is about releasing yourself from emotional heaviness as you continue moving forward in life. The most important thing is to remain grounded in your own peace. Peace is not something that depends on outside situations or other people. It is something you build within yourself, through awareness, self-understanding, acceptance, and emotional balance. When you reach that state, you are no longer easily disturbed by uncertainty or confusion. You are no longer controlled by waiting, overthinking, or constant questioning. You become steady regardless of what is happening around you externally. And in that steadiness, something powerful begins to happen. You start seeing life more clearly. You understand yourself on a deeper level. You respond instead of reacting impulsively. You move with patience instead of urgency or pressure. And whatever is truly meant for you in any form will begin to align more naturally with the energy you are building inside yourself. The truth is that the greatest gift in all of this is not only the connection itself, but what this experience has been shaping inside you all along the way. It is not only about another person, or what you hoped would happen between you and them. It is about the person you are slowly becoming through everything you have experienced, felt, and understood. Every moment of confusion, every moment of hope, every moment of silence, and every moment of waiting has been shaping something deep within you that you may not fully recognize yet. But it is there, quietly forming and building inside your thoughts, your emotions, and your understanding of life. Your strength is not something that appeared suddenly or overnight. It has been formed slowly through pressure, challenges, and situations that tested your patience, your emotions, and your belief in yourself. There were moments when you felt unsure, moments when you questioned everything around you, and moments when nothing seemed to make sense at all. But even in those moments, you were still growing internally. Even when you thought you were stuck, you were actually changing and evolving in ways you could not immediately see. That is how real growth works. It does not always feel positive or comfortable while it is happening. Sometimes it feels heavy, slow, confusing, and even painful to go through. But later, when you look back, you realize it was necessary for your transformation and inner development. Your growth is not only about becoming stronger on the outside, it is also about becoming more aware within yourself, more aware of your emotions, your patterns, your reactions, and your inner voice. There is a clarity that slowly starts to form when you stop chasing answers outside and start listening more deeply within yourself. At first, it may feel quiet, uncertain, or even unclear, but over time, that inner understanding becomes stronger and more stable. You start noticing things you ignored before. You start to feel things more deeply, but also more clearly and calmly. You begin to understand what aligns with you and what does not fit your path anymore. This is not confusion. This is awareness developing and becoming stronger. Clarity does not always come as a sudden realization or big moment. Most of the time, it arrives slowly like light breaking through early morning fog. At first, you only see small parts of the path ahead. Then, little by little, more becomes visible and clear. And as this happens, you begin to trust yourself in a deeper and more natural way. You stop doubting every feeling. You stop questioning every instinct or inner signal. Instead, you begin to recognize that your inner voice has been guiding you more than you realized all along. The foundation of everything that comes next in your life is being built right now in this very phase. Even if you cannot see the final structure yet, your patience, emotional strength, self-awareness, and your ability to reflect instead of react are all becoming part of who you are becoming. These qualities will shape how you move forward, how you handle relationships, and how you respond to life in general. Nothing you have gone through has been wasted or meaningless. Even the moments that felt painful, confusing, or unclear were contributing to your inner foundation in some way. As things begin to shift in your life, it becomes even more important to trust yourself, not only in big decisions, but also in small, everyday moments. Trust how you feel when something feels right. Trust how you feel when something feels off or not aligned. Trust the quiet signals your mind and heart give you, even when you cannot fully explain them logically. Intuition is not loud or forceful. It does not shout or demand attention. It speaks gently, and often you understand it more clearly only after you have ignored it or followed it. Over time, you learn to recognize it more clearly and naturally. Trusting your intuition also means trusting the journey you have been on, even if it did not go the way you originally expected or planned. Life does not always move in straight lines. Sometimes it takes unexpected turns and detours that feel unnecessary in the moment, but later make complete sense. You may look back one day and realize that certain delays, distances, or experiences were actually protecting you, guiding you, or preparing you for something that is more aligned with who you are becoming. Because what is truly meant for you does not get lost or erased. It does not disappear just because there is distance, silence, or uncertainty involved. What is truly aligned with your path always finds its way back in the right timing, in the right form, and in the right way. You do not have to chase it endlessly or force it into place. What is meant for you carries its own natural path toward you, even when you are not aware of it. And what is not meant for you, no matter how much effort is given, eventually shows you clearly why it could not stay in your life. Your story is not ending in this very moment. It is still unfolding and continuing. Unfolding means it is still in progress and still being written through your experiences, decisions, awareness, and personal growth. You are not stuck in a final chapter of your life. You are in a transition phase, even if it feels uncertain or slow. Transitions often feel like pauses, but they are actually active periods of change happening beneath the surface. Everything you have felt has meaning and purpose. Every emotion you went through, whether hope, sadness, confusion, attachment, or reflection, has been part of your inner development and learning. Even the questions you could not answer were shaping your thinking and awareness. Even silence was teaching you patience and understanding. Even distance was teaching you emotional awareness and perspective. Nothing has been random in how it has affected you. Everything you have gone through has been guiding you toward this moment of deeper understanding. Not only understanding others, but also understanding yourself on a deeper level. Understanding your strength, your emotional depth, your ability to endure, and your ability to grow, even when life feels unclear or uncertain. That understanding is powerful because once you truly see it, you cannot unsee it again. And as you continue forward, you begin to carry yourself differently in life. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are more aware of who you are becoming. You begin to respond differently to situations that once overwhelmed you easily. You begin to choose peace where there used to be confusion. You begin to value clarity over emotional attachment. And slowly your inner world becomes more stable, even if the outer world is still changing or uncertain. This process is not about rushing toward an outcome. It is about becoming someone who can move through life with more awareness, balance, and emotional understanding. You are learning how to trust timing, how to trust yourself, and how to trust that life is unfolding in a way that is not always visible in the moment, but meaningful in the long run. So even now in this phase of waiting, reflection, or transition, something important is still happening inside you. You are not behind anyone. You are not lost on your path. You are not disconnected from where you are meant to be. You are in the middle of becoming who you are meant to be, and becoming is always an ongoing, continuous process. And one day, when you look back at this period of your life, you will not only remember what you went through, but you will also clearly recognize how much you changed and grew because of it.